September 27, 2020, residents of the de facto Republic of Artsakh woke up to war. Their only crime? Peacefully practicing their right to self-determination. Dear Congress and Mr. President, recognized Artsakh. Artsakh, also known as Nagorno-Karabakh, has been home to an Armenian majority for millennia, but has been internationally known as part of Azerbaijan since Stalin's reassignment of Artsakh from Armenia SSR to Azerbaijan SSR as an autonomous oblast. The USSR constitution allowed such regions to declare independence, so in 1991, practicing their right to self-determination, Artsakh voted for its secession.
But Azeri and Russian government's rejection led to the First Karabakh War, ending with the current Artsakh government controlling Artsakh proper and 7 surrounding territories as the buffer zone. After failed negotiations over the next 26 years to clarify Artsakh's status, Azerbaijan and Turkey launched a war in 2020 to retake the land they considered theirs. 44 days, 6,000 deaths, and a Russian-brokered ceasefire later, Azerbaijan reclaimed 7 territories and took 40% of Artsakh proper. But the international status of the remaining 60% of Artsakh proper has yet to be resolved.
As a permanent chair of the UN and therefore a global leader, the US has the responsibility to act on its core ideals to ensure peace in the Caucasus without bloodshed.
It is the values and the founding values that make our country the most successful and prosperous country in the history of the world.
Still the fundamental belief that the United States has to be a beacon for freedom and a beacon for democracy and human rights.
The U.S. stands for all these powerful ideals and principles like liberty, justice, freedom, democracy. And if we are truly a country that represents these ideals, then it's a no-brainer that we should help people in the Artsakh region have self-determination.
The U.S. is the co-chair of the OSCE Minsk Group, which was established in 1992 to peacefully end the Artsakh conflict. While the Minsk Group unfortunately failed, Congress and the President can still establish lasting stability in the Caucasus by recognizing Artsakh as a state.
Artsakh originally began seeking independence in 1988 in response to massacres against its people, and this most recent war only foreshadows their rights and safety further violated under Azeri rule.
There were illegal weapons used, cluster bombs on population centers. They used white phosphorus to burn forests, attacked cultural monuments on purpose with very precise weapons. This was a war with genocidal intent of to clear out an area that a certain ethnic group has been living in for multiple millennia in a matter of days.
Artsakh absolutely cannot live under Azerbaijani rule. This has been made clear by Baku's actions and its open threats to kill or ethnically cleanse Armenians from their indigenous homes.
Now, territorial integrity is an international law that ensures the country's borders remain unchanged.
But that law has an equal partner, self-determination, which allows a group of people to form their own government to preserve their basic human rights.
Since Artsakh's human rights are violated, they will only be protected through remedial secession.
And what that means is that if there's a country, and within that country there's an ethnic group that is in danger of facing genocide or ethnic cleansing, and the international community can move in there and essentially separate that part of the country and create a second entity. And this was done in Kosovo.
With the most recent ceasefire, Russian peacekeepers will stay in Artsakh for the next 5 years. But if either the Armenian or Azerbaijani governments deem their presence unnecessary, another war is inevitable.
Because the U.S. can leave a lasting positive impact on that region, it's our nation's obligation to support Artsakh, who only wants peace.
Once it's recognized, they can start cooperating with their neighbors, they can start doing trade with their neighbors.
Have open borders, be able to actually work itself and conduct as an independent country, internally will give it the sense of security and economic growth that it needs and it wants in order to be able to take the next steps forward.
I am an Armenian American.
But we all, regardless of nationality, under the United States leadership,
must support Artsakh citizens peacefully practicing their right to self-determination.
Only good things will come from allowing a group of freedom-loving individuals to want to accelerate democracy, not only within themselves, but around them as well.
And this is what this situation in Artsakh is all about. It's about the people choosing freedom.
America is back, ready to lead the world, ready to stand up for our values.
And so if you pride yourself on living by these principles and morals, and you know that there are atrocities happening or injustices happening in other parts of the world, you should care, because that's how humanity takes care of each other.
Will we see another case of ethnic cleansing in the future? Do we sit silent?
Let's make sure that we put an end to this conflict, we put an end to this suffering, and we never give Azerbaijan or Turkey reason to believe that they could commit such acts of violence again with impunity.
In the words of Andrei Sakharov, for Azerbaijan, the issue of Armenia is a matter of ambition. For the Armenians of Karabakh, it is a matter of life and death.
I implore and ask all my colleagues around the world to also recognize Artsakh.
Recognize Artsakh.
Recognize Artsakh.
Recognize Artsakh.
Recognize Artsakh.
Recognize Artsakh.
Dear Congress and Mr. President, what will you do to establish world peace? Will you recognize the Republic of Artsakh?